Oh my goodness, I think we are recording and we are live on Facebook. Yes. So welcome to the Nonprofit Shoutout interview Thursday. It's my favorite time of the week. I have been bringing you these nonprofit shoutout interviews for going on a year and a half now, and that is crazy to me. And I have learned so many beautiful things that are going on with mostly Austin area nonprofits, but some farther, and some part of a larger national and international network. So I love all of that. So I'm super excited to welcome. Okay, we're good. Hold on, all the good things. Mary Riggs. She is Chief Program Officer at the Andy Roddick Foundation. Welcome to this show.
Thanks for having me. And thanks for doing these for a year and a half. It hasn't been that long. It's amazing.
I love it so much. So that works on my behalf as well. So, okay, so let me dive into my first question, which is, could you just introduce yourself, tell us all about the Andy Roddick Foundation, who and how you serve, and any relevant foundational information?
Sure. And I'll start with Andy's story because I feel like that's what everyone's usually interested in. So Andy Roddick, most folks may know, is from here in Austin. He lives here part of the time. And he is a former U.S. national big time tennis player guy. Clearly, he didn't ask my tennis skills when I was hired. So he's a former tennis pro, now retired.
As a tennis player, that was hilarious. So thank you for that. Okay, go on.
But anyway, so he started playing tennis at a very young age. And he knew that first moment he picked up a racket, he just felt that passion and felt that love and always wanted to inspire that in other people. And so when he was about 18 or so, he was on the national circuit and got to sit next to his idol, Andre Agassi. And so he asked him, what would you do different in your tennis career? And Andre told him the one thing I would change would be to start my foundation sooner and start giving back sooner. And so Andy took that to heart completely. And at 18, still trying to figure out his role in tennis, started raising funds. He was living in Florida at that time. He was doing things like tennis clinics or basketball tournaments just to raise money to give back out to the community. And so he always focused on giving back to children's organizations and charities. And when he retired, at like the age of 30, which we all could do. When he retired, he decided he wanted to make an even deeper impact with his foundation. And so he was living here in Austin, decided he wanted to do even more here locally. And in addition to giving away funds, really wanted to start looking at how could we make programming differences. And so we did a lot of research around, started hiring staff to really figure out how can he make a difference for children, and landed on looking at, there's a huge gap in terms of out of school time programming, which is after school and summer learning programs. Things that make a huge difference in kids' lives, but there just aren't enough of them to go around. There aren't enough programs that are affordable to go around. So that really got us to our mission, which is about working with our community to expand opportunities for young people to learn, thrive, and succeed. And we do that by operating and supporting these high quality out of school time programs that are happening outside the traditional school days. So during school breaks like summer, during after school hours, before school, weekends, anytime kids aren't in the classroom, we want to make sure they're having some enriching experience with that. And we do that because when children aren't in school and their parents are working, there's just a variety of challenges that they can face. There's increased risky behaviors, there's unhealthy behaviors. We also see, in particular with elementary students over the summer months, we see learning loss happening as well. So every month when they're not in school in the summer, kids are losing 2 to 3 months of reading and math skills, which accumulates over time. And so it results in children being 2 to 3 years behind their peers by the time they hit middle school, which is a huge gap to make up. So what we're trying to do is really look at how can we address these things by really addressing the root cause, which is an opportunity gap that happens with children. And so where children living in low-income communities can experience about 6,000 less hours of enriching activities than their middle-income peers by the time they hit middle school. Wow. And about 4,000 of those hours are just after school and summer programs and having access to those quality experiences. So what we've done at the Andy Roddick Foundation is design programs using evidence-based, child-centered approaches to really fill that gap for elementary students. And that includes our, and I have to say this when my team gets mad, our national award-winning summer learning program. We won a national award in 2019, but also our after-school program, our spring break camps. We do family events during the year, all to kind of fill those hours and make those hours of opportunity for kids. And the programs really focus on hands-on academics, sports, service, a variety of things that are all designed to help children develop healthy habits, to maintain and gain academic skills, to increase their social emotional learning skills, and really discover those passions and talents like Andy did, and build that lifelong love of just learning and discovery. And through these programs, we've seen some great results. We see increases in standardized test scores. We see increases in school day attendance. And we also see statistically significant increases in social emotional learning skills like initiative and problem solving and motivation and persistence, things that we know are so important for kids, especially during a pandemic. But we know we can't do this alone, and we know we're always stronger when we work together. So another aspect of our work is that we support other after school and summer programs through our Learn All the Time initiative, which provides training, resources, and tools for over 30 incredible program partners providing that are impacting over 57,000 kids across Central Texas. So we really like that partnership piece too, and be able to work together to really make a bigger impact on the community.
It's essential. I hear that as a theme in these interviews over and over and over. The partnerships between the nonprofits, which is a total surprise to me. I don't know why, but it's that impact it's a compound.
100%. And we found, everyone's always been willing to work together, but especially during this time, I feel like people's just competition went out the window, egos went out the window. It's just, how can we put kids first and how can we work together to do that? Just such an amazing and such a terrible time, an amazing thing to come out of that is even more collaboration and partnership and really doing that child-centered work around this.
I think we all sort of just stripped away a lot of the unnecessary garbage and realized what really, really, really matters. So, which is an excellent segue to next question, which are, we want to hear all about the challenges that were presented last year during COVID, and also highlight some of the lessons, because we're definitely seeing that we learned some things that we don't have to go back to.
Yeah. And, we're very in-person, very relationship focused program. And so not having access has really been a huge challenge. And we remember the day very well when the schools had to close because it was the day before spring break and we were getting ready to get our kids go to spring break camp that Monday and had to make all those terrible phone calls and break children's hearts to say, we're like, we'll make it up to you. We'll go in a couple of months. Who knew? But
who knew?
But really, we just tried to focus our really emphasis on the children and families. And so our team that whole next week after the schools closed, we're calling families, what do you need? How are you doing? Can we support you? And just having those conversations and just being a partner and a friend. We had one mom who just was like, I need to go take this call in the car because I just need a minute alone with another adult who knows my child and cares about my child and can talk with me about this. So just providing that resource there. But then we also started to just gather everything that was available online. So what could kids do online? What are easy activities they could do at home with limited materials? Putting all that together and packaging up. And we did a weekly activity menu that we distributed across the community. We gave it to our families that we served directly, and then another 15,000 families received those as well through handouts. And it just had a variety of activities they could do. We did those all through the spring of 2020. And we also did daily activity videos as well that we'd send to our families and post online as well, which would be things like a simple art activity you could do at home, or a way to get physically active, whether it's yoga or cardio or something else. It's a fun game they could play at home, or an activity they could do as a family, or a book we'd read to them, just to have that kind of continuing learning time and continuing time to be active and mentally and physically, engaged in the work. We also would send home activity kits to our kids as well. We got a little more sophisticated as we went from us going on our phones to really trying to do things where we could send it to the homes and work with some amazing partners. I'll just plug, we did this, oh my God, I'm blanking on their name. I can't believe I'm doing that, but I'll think of it, of this group that was able to deliver things to people's homes. And it was just absolutely incredible for us. So we'd give them a kit that would have an activity in it with all the materials necessary.
That's great.
We started doing those over the school vacations too. And that's something we've really learned that families liked, and we're going to continue that in the future of these take-home kits they can do. We'd also try and stick books in there and stick always a gift card for families too, to support meals or basic needs or anything like that as well.
Huge.
But really, how do we switch our program from this really intensive in-person thing to this online piece? And we had really good success with it. Our families were able to log on. We did family nights still together. We wrote poetry. We built kites together. We did our after school classes with our partners online, and we moved our summer program. We've done 2 summers. We're in our one summer right now of really switching to this virtual program. And it's, not the way we normally operate, but it's been an amazing time. And for summer in particular, we've done a mix of live and recorded content so kids can go at their own pace, but also have that time to connect with their peers and their teachers and really learn from each other and build those relationships. And we've done things we've never been able to do before too. Like in terms of projects, we would send home projects, and we had one family send a picture back. They were making a paper mache solar system, and they sent a picture of everyone in that household. It was mom, dad, grandma, grandpa,
Oh my
brothers and sisters,
gosh.
all supporting this kindergartner and making their paper mache, solar system. And so it turned into really a family activity.
Yeah.
We also had
Amazing.
virtual field trips that we could do in different ways. So normally do a field trip every Friday in the summer program, but this time we were able to pull in, we connected to a group in South Africa that's a safari and conservation group. And so they did like an actual safari for us. And like we got to see these amazing South African animals and learn all about conservation, how to support them. Just things that you can't typically take a group of kids from Austin to South Africa, but having that experience was just incredible with that. And
Wow.
just amazing stuff. And we were also able to take our content and make it free online as well. So any family who needs it across the world really can log onto our website and get some of those activities as well. And then, in terms of supporting other programs too, with our Learn All the Time work, we spent the last year really helping our partners transition to virtual and now start to transition back from virtual, really with an emphasis on how do we build these, fingers crossed, how do we continue to build relationships? How do we build those social emotional skills for children? And how do we ensure that they're having a quality experience no matter how they're getting the program, if it's in person, if it's live, if it's synchronous, asynchronous, all these new terms that we've learned. The past year and a half, we've done 70 professional development sessions and training sessions with staff, which included, at the beginning, really tactical stuff like here's Zoom, here's how to use it, here's how to record, pieces, but also a lot of deeper dives into, how do we center equity in our programs? How do we really approach quality in a virtual space or an in-person space? And how do we look at that differently? So really put those pieces together. And then another huge pivot, which that word is, I know, done.
Okay.
But another area that we found a gap in was that we saw as a foundation, there was a lot of need for at-home social emotional learning support and really having that. So we developed Whatchamafeelit, which is 16 lessons. It's called Little Lessons for Big Moods. And it walks children through activities that are designed to help them understand and regulate their emotions and really think about empathy and diversity and better communicate with their family and friends. And it has an accompanying family guide. So it has activities for kids, it's got videos and activities, plus it has activities for families to do with their children. And so it's find out what their children's learning, able to ask the leading questions about that, and then follow-up activities to reinforce that as a family too. So packaged all that up in the past year and a half and really have just tried to be of service as much as we could and really in partnership with our community to just support them through this time. But I think the lessons, it's kids are resilient and amazing, and we need to give them more credit for how amazing they are. I think the kids have gotten us through this more than anything else.
No question.
And yeah, just how resourceful they are. And it is just incredible. And, we've built, I think through this, we've been able to build more student choice and voice into our program even than before. And it's really giving them leadership roles in ways that they just are just thriving in and just doing amazing things. And really, because our summer program, we always, have to be pretty structured because we have 100 plus kids, 150, 200 kids in the space. So we did a lot more choice this year in terms of elective activities in the afternoon. We have sewing, we have learning ASL, doing comic book design, and the kids are able to really thrive in that space so much more. So I think building that into our program moving forward too, and bringing even more choice and just helping them discover that passion, I think is even more something that we're going to try and do moving forward, and figure out how to control that in a bigger space. But it's just been a great, amazing things that we didn't think our first summer would feel the same. We know it didn't look the same. We didn't think it would feel the same, but it really did feel the same coming out. The kids still had that same connection. We had that same just amazing relationships being built between kids and staff and each other. And it was great.
And that's really what it boils down to, because that, number one, let me just say, wow, and wow. And everything you are doing for each kid individually, I know is starting a lifelong gift to them. It's now, but it's forever. I love that when I hear stories of kids that wind up giving back when they get older and going back to a program and saying, this served me so well and I want to contribute back. Oh, that's the real huge circle I love to see. So
yeah, we have a waiting list of when the kids get old enough to start working the program, start pinging them. Our first ones are graduating this year from our first program. So
what are the ages that you
we
like have?
Start through fifth grade. So we had to get them ready, get them prepare them through elementary school to get them ready for middle school, and then try and stay in touch after that too. And so our first group of fifth graders are now starting to graduate high school. And so, yeah, we've already been like, okay, what are you doing next summer?
Right, exactly. Absolutely. Built-in connection for volunteer support. That's huge. That's so
Definitely.
smart.
And connecting
Great.
to other things in the community too. We always do community service projects over the summer to try and really expose them to what's going on in the broader community and help them find that passion where they want to give back to. So if it's not with us, we still want to connect them to something to be able to give back to whatever they're passionate about, and really build that, into as a value as well. And they're amazing.
Phenomenal. Phenomenal. And how many staff are doing this?
Well, we have 3 full-time. Well, we have our program team is 8 full-time staff, 3 that run our children and family services. And then we hire about 60 seasonal staff over the summer to work on our programs. A little less this year. We're with virtual. We've been able to do a little bit, but
right. Awesome.
It's a whole cadre of people, amazing community that's built around and stay with us for years too, which is incredible. We love having the teachers come back and we know they're tired at the end of the year. And so many of them just say this is a time for them to be able to do something creative and refresh and just work with kids in a different way. They're not working toward a test or anything like that. They're really just able to have fun and learn in ways that are non-traditional and really enjoy that, which is amazing.
So great. So great. Again, another great segue into my last question, which is, how can the community support you? I want to hear all about ways to where you fundraise or events, how you like volunteers, like all the things.
And we have all the things.
Good.
There's so many ways to support the foundation at any level or any way you want to be able to give back. We love volunteers. We have a variety of roles. We, of course, during our programs, we love to have volunteers come out and work with our youth directly. But we also have things in our office and behind the scenes work too, if that's more what people like. We usually post those opportunities on our website, which is arfoundation.org. Or you can reach out to us through the website as well. And we're always happy to connect. We work with a lot of companies that want to connect their folks in for days of service, or if people have really skill sets they want to give back, and we try to make those connections too. If it isn't a fit for us, we try to find someone in our Latin network too, our own time network that's a fit as well. We also have that What You Feel curriculum, which is we're giving it to our students, but we're also selling it to individuals and companies. And it's a give one, get one model. So you're able to get one yourself and then give those social emotional learning supports to the community as well. And then we have, we started during COVID, our Family Emergency Fund, which is used to support families' basic needs. So many things that come during COVID. It also really supported during this winter storm when families needed water and food and everything, blankets, sleeping bags. So everything came up with that. And we were able to support families through that and other emergencies that arise throughout the year. And we also appreciate just general donations. And we have a variety of giving societies. We have Amazon Smile, corporate giving, and pretty much all the ways you can give. We love it. And I love that kind of support. And we have events as well. We have, our events have been a little different right now because we haven't been in person, but we are everything crossed. Planning for our annual gala is going to happen in the spring this year. And so there's always tickets available for that. Usually there's the seating on the floor, and then we usually try and sell some other seats as well, but we're not sure what COVID will do with that. But
does it have a fun name? What's the name of your gala?
I think it's just the Andy Rock Foundation Gala. We are not good at names. What You Feel, it's our best name.
That's pretty good.
It's a good one. We had an amazing firm build that for us. That name.
Okay.
Andy Rock Foundation program, Andy Rock Foundation Gala. Yeah, we need naming. If anyone has naming ideas, we'll take those volunteers as well.
I was just trying to throw a bone to Karen, who's trying to pop links in here for you. And if it had a good name, I was going to help her with her Google search
on the website, the different ways. Yeah, it's
okay.
Yeah,
awesome, super.
But I'd say also, beyond giving directly to us, we just encourage everyone to support youth development programs. We have so many amazing programs across the community that are just doing incredible things with kids. And we also encourage everyone to advocate for those programs as well. There's very little public support for this really important work. And if community members are willing to use their voices to support youth and making sure youth have access to these programs that really are changing their lives, that's another great way to just support the children across your community as well.
I love that. And I feel like I have interviewed a nice smattering. So we've got Austin Kids Can, we've got Girls Start. There have been a couple, Girls on the Run. They're just a great, they're out there, and supporting a child, we all know how important that is. But I love that. I love that remembering or the reminder to support the advocacy of youth programs in general as a thing. I think we all think of, after school care, but there are so many more enrichment programs and helping them be in with their science ones, and it's so great.
Yeah,
It's huge.
Anything that a kid could want to do, we really have in the community. There's just amazing programs doing so many different things. And, it's all mostly private donations. There's a little bit of federal funding that comes down, but there's really not a way that we as a community really say we are going to invest in kids in this way. And so we're always trying to find ways to kind of elevate that voice and make sure that we're thinking about, kids are in school for about 20% of their waking hours, 80% are outside of school. So what's happening to them then? And making sure that they have amazing experiences during that time.
This is amazing. So can you give us just a little touchy-feely story of an experience or an impact made between a volunteer or a child or something that just kind of gives us a little insight into what's going on?
Yeah. And we have, so many incredible stories of children that just have that spark and learn something new and discover their passion. And, you almost see the light bulb going off with them.
Yes.
And we try to bring in volunteers that look like the community that we're serving. And so making sure that they can really see themselves in these different jobs and roles.
Oh,
but
fabulous.
We've had kids who started with us, they started playing lacrosse. We do different sports every week. And so they tried lacrosse with us, and now they're on their way to a scholarship for college.
Yes.
Or they wrote their first poem with us, and we usually work with the Austin Library Foundation Badger Dog program. I'm going to plug because they're amazing. But they'll write a poem with us, and then now one of our students is in a citywide poetry competition. So they just have these amazing things that they start. We just start that spark, and then they just are able to do so much more with that. But this year has been so different, and so one thing that really sticks out is just the incredible connection with our families and the incredible partnership with our families. And we developed just this strong partnership and friendship, and just been there to support each other through all of this. And it's not one-sided. We're not serving families, we're really partnering with them so we can each contribute to their child's development in concert with each other. And knowing that we have each other to lean on has really made this time bearable, but also just so much richer. I think we've learned so much from our families, and hope that we've been able to support them as well through this. And the same goes for the program partners with Learn All the Time. Like we talked about, COVID's made our partnership and collaboration just so much stronger, and there's a long recovery road ahead, but we know we're going to go further together and be more successful together. And everyone's just putting children first, and that's just so incredible. And we're just so excited for everything that the kids in our program do and all that we get to see them do, and seeing them graduate now and just seeing them go on to amazing things. And it's trying to apply for college. It's like you were 10 a minute ago.
Right. Oh yeah. That is the
then
truth.
Also, like that ripple effect that like it's just, how does it compound across the community, and how do we really make sure all children are having that experience? It's just been something that's been really fulfilling in this time to see how we're all putting that first.
Oh my gosh. What was the name of the library you plugged? The library program?
It's the Austin Public Library Foundation. It's not the right name, but it's the Badger Dog. They're incredible.
Badger
Dog.
Badger Dog.
There's a whole long story behind the name, but they are a creative writing program, one of a couple in the city, and they're fantastic.
Okay. I was like, you plugged them and I did not hear what you said. I wanted to read back. Circle back.
Immediately sparked writing.
I like it though. It's something, I don't know, something about that. So gosh, thank you so much for all that you told us today and all you were doing to support family and youth. And I'm extremely excited for where you guys are going to go once we start back in school. And I think there's some special stuff coming up. I can just feel it. Yeah. The dedication there. So thank you for your time today. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much. And thanks for doing this for nonprofits across the community. There's so many great things going on in our community. And thanks for spotlighting it.
Absolutely. And, I'm always all ears for other that about that, could use a little exposure. So yes, please. I really want to thank everybody that watched this particular interview. This is the time where you can like and share all of the public, all of the social media for Andy Roddick Foundation. share this to your personal page. It's a public interview. And that, just like what we said, it helps us support and advocate for youth development programs, which are so incredibly important. So if you want to go back into the archives, I've got a whole YouTube channel where you can play around and just, just really have your eyes open to some really incredible stuff that is going on out there. So thank you so much for watching and sharing the nonprofit shout out interview. I am Ryan Lanier from Organizing for Good here in Austin, Texas. Next week, we will be talking to Any Baby Can. And I look forward to bringing you that and the continued interviews coming forward. So thanks to everybody for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.